Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and before we even start talking about this news report of the day, a very major news has emerged right from WWE.com itself regarding WWE's response to the Russian invasion in Ukraine. Now, we know that this is a very sensitive topic. It is an ongoing war, and before I even start talking about the details of this news story, I'm just going to ask everybody to please not direct your hatred towards everybody in Russia. This is not a war between people. It's not a war between two countries. It's a war between politics. It's a war between two governments. So please do not subject all the Russians to hatred because they don't deserve it. Most of the people in Russia don't even want this war. And now, with that being said, we're going to dive right in and we're going to talk about this very breaking news story coming right from the WWE right here at Wrestling News. Welcome back, guys. And right, so we have now received word from WWE itself that they have terminated their broadcast partnership and they have shut down the network in Russia. Now, what you see here to my right is actually the press release that they have sent out on their website and all to all the publications out there. Now, what does the press release say? Let's read it together. It says that WWE has released the following statement today. They have terminated their partnership with the Russian broadcaster Match. So Match is the name of the broadcaster, and they have shut down the WWE network in the country effective immediately. So everybody who is subscribed to the network in Russia, they are not going to be able to access it anymore as it has now been suspended in the country. Now this move, this is the most important part and a part that I believe people are not going to be happy. I know a lot of fans, a lot of our followers actually come from Russia, so they're not going to be happy about it because it's not a good sign at all. Because now they have banned it. They have banned the WWE network in Russia at a time when WrestleMania is right around the corner. And what that means is that it eliminates access in Russia to any WWE programming, all sorts of programming, including the company's weekly shows. So no Raw, no Smackdown, no NXT is going to be airing in Russia anytime soon. All of their on-demand library, the ones that you can access on the network are going to be gone. You're not going to be able to access them. All of the pay-per-views, or what WWE now calls them premier live events, are going to be inaccessible. And this one is going to hurt them the most. WrestleMania 38 is not going to be accessible in Russia. Russian fans are not going to be able to watch WrestleMania in the country this year due to obviously, all that's going on in the country. It's terrible news. We know the war is still going on, so it's a very hard topic. It's a very touchy topic. But just like I said earlier, it is easy for us to direct our hatred towards one group of people, and in this case, towards the people in Russia because of the war. And our hearts, they go out to everybody in Ukraine and everybody who has been forced to leave the country or who has been a victim of this war. It's very painful. But also, let's not direct our hate to everybody in Russia because not everybody deserves this hatred. That's right. We all are praying for world peace. That's what we want at the end of the day. We want the world to be happier, a safer place. And that's why we pray for world peace. AEW has not made any comments yet. That's a very good point. No comments made from AEW just yet. Good to see you. Good to see everybody. That's right. US boy WWE fan says nobody wants a war. Nobody wants it. That's right. Good to see you, Anthony. Look at that. From India, we're getting some love. Good to see you. Absolutely. So, yes, what we were talking about today is that the WWE has banned their network and they have suspended all of their programming in the country. And a lot of, as you can imagine, a lot of the mainstream sources are talking about it right now. You can Google it and you'll see sources all over talking about this thing because it's such a hot topic. And we can see here, TMZ is talking about it. They said WWE ends partnership with Russia amid the war in Ukraine. And what this article here says it, WWE is taking a stand against Russia. Vince McMahon's organization just announced it is cutting all ties to the country amid the invasion of Ukraine. And just like we said earlier, we mentioned it earlier, they're not going to be able to catch up with Raw, with SmackDown. None of that at all. Even WrestleMania is going to be off the tables in Russia. It says it here very clearly. This move also means WrestleMania 38, the Super Bowl of wrestling, will not air in Russia. It's huge. It's absolutely huge. And it is a sad state. What we're seeing right now, it's a sad state. And Anthony says, for me, this doesn't hurt the Russian government, just hurts the WWE fan in Russia. I understand Vince is trying to prove a point, but you're hurting the fan base. They're not the government. That's a very good point. Absolutely, that's a very good point. But again, it's not just Vince McMahon who's doing it. It's also all the major companies, all the major organizations doing it. They're taking a stand against the government in every way possible. And for a company like the WWE, a private organization that is an entertainment company, I mean, what can they do to show their stand against the country? All they can do is suspend their programming, and I guess that's what they're doing it. But again, the point is that the common man is going to suffer at the end of the day. War does no good to anybody, not to the country attacking, not to the country defending. War is never the solution, and we can see it here very clearly. It's sad. It's really terrible. And Test Channel says, right, US fanboy, especially after today's announcement by AEW, they wouldn't want to get into politics. That's yeah, I guess that's in reference to the ROH that's now owned by Tony Khan. Yeah, they wouldn't want to get into politics now. There's a lot of competition going up. That's right, absolutely. And let's also take a look at some other companies who have also decided to strike back against Russia in the middle of all of this. Now, as I said earlier, WWE is not the only company that's taking a stance against Russia. It's also the likes of Netflix and TikTok and Apple that are doing it. And we can see here, again, the article here, we can just take a look at it together. It says several prominent Hollywood and Silicon Valley businesses are distancing themselves from the Russian state programming amid all of the stuff that's going on. So we know that Netflix has done something against the country. They're suspending their programming. We know that TikTok's doing the same. Apple has actually stopped selling their iPhones, stopped selling their products in Russia, which is the first time they're doing it. Even during the pandemic, Apple was still selling their products, but now they have actually stopped selling their products in Russia, which is huge. A lot of consumers in Russia, they go for Apple products, and for them to stop selling it is a clear sign of defiance, a clear show that hey, we're not with you, we're against you, the war is a bad idea, and that's the message that they're trying to put out there in the sign of this war. That's what's happening here. That's right, war is not the solution, and it is never a solution. And since we're talking about different companies and in what ways they are against this war, let's also take a look at Netflix and in what unique way are they against this war. Now, this article here from the Hollywood Reporter tells the whole story. It says that Netflix halts production on Russian language series, pauses future acquisitions from Russia. So you can see what they're doing here is that they're putting the halt to the productions on all Russian language series, and any future acquisitions are also being put on hold right now. So they are trying to do this in every way possible, different ways, different companies, different approaches. But at the end of the day, what they're trying to say is one thing and one thing only: that we are against this war, and we're gonna try all means necessary to prove our point that war is not the solution. It should have never been the solution, and we're against it. And of course, if it's not a lot of companies doing it on purpose or by will, it's due to PR, which is very important. If you are in corporate world, you have to maintain your PR. So that also goes into play. And now, since we're talking about WWE suspending all of their programming, including WrestleMania 38 and the network in Russia, let's take a look at all the Russians that we have ever seen in the WWE. Let's take a look at this little gallery that is on the WWE Network.com. Sorry. So again, we go way back. Let's start from way back. This is the Russian team. That's a very easy name, isn't it? Very easy team name. As you can see, the Russian team, and their name also is a Russian team. Moving up next, we have Nikolai Volkov. Again, a legend in itself. And what you can see here, it's a bit controversial. Look at this T-shirt. What does it say? It says the USSR. We know that WWE sometimes they like to flirt with controversial stuff, and we've seen it with a lot of times. Hello, good to see you. We've seen it a lot of times in WWE and their programming that they like to flirt with controversy. They can go all out. They can, we saw it when the unfortunate crash of the Malaysian Airlines happened, and Rusev came out and he cut a promo which got major heat, nuclear heat, even from mainstream media. So WWE likes to flirt with controversy here and there, and they're not strangers to that. Before we get to looking back at all the Russian wrestlers that we've seen in the WWE, let's take a look at some of the comments that we're getting here. Because it's a live chat and we like to have all the interaction with the fans as we speak, it is good to see that big businesses like WWE, Apple, and Netflix are taking this step to show they're against the war. This time, they're not caring about business profits, but humanity. Humanity matters. It matters a lot. And they're taking a stand, and they should be proud of it. Good. Well said, Test Channel. Well said. And D-Star is here. Good to see you. And they say this is big for WWE. They're sacrificing money and TV deals for a stand against war. Fair play to them. Absolutely, D-Star. And how many times have we seen the WWE actually, go with humanity over profits? It's not a lot of times that we see it happening, right? I mean, this is the same company that gets criticized so openly, and they still go to Saudi Arabia every single year, right? Or even twice a year. So for them to do that, I mean, right now with this thing in Russia, it's good. It's applaudable. They're taking a stand and making the right decision. They should be vocal against the war, and that's what they're doing. So big up to them. US Boy WWE fan says, very well said, T-Stat channel. Yeah, absolutely. Yes, D-Star, great step by the WWE. This will help them gain respect and loyalty of the audience worldwide, which is very important. Absolutely, US Boy, 100%. Moving on, let's take a look at the other stars that we've seen in the WWE that belong to Russia. Let's see. And this is Ivan Koloff, and I'm pretty sure you all recognize him. One of the all-time greats that stepped into the ring. Look at that. And then we have Nikita Koloff. You also must recognize this guy right here. If you've been watching wrestling for a while, these are some names. If you haven't seen their faces, you've seen their names. So WWE definitely has a rich history when it comes to Russian wrestlers. They've had a fair share of them, which most of them are legends in their own credit. Boris Zukov, also another one of them. And again, you look at the singlets and you look at all this imagery and the lectures, controversial. And that's what WWE likes to play with. You can see the red and the yellow. It's clear what they were trying to hint here with this cape. The color combination is pretty clear. But that's just WWE for you. And they do that. They just do that. Yeah, this is another one. You probably know him from back in the day. And look, once again, take a look at this. I'm not going to say what it is, but you probably already know what it is. So WWE likes to do this, and they have always liked to do stuff like this. Stereotypes. And again, Vladimir Kozlov. This is one of the most popular Russian wrestlers out there, who now has distanced himself from wrestling so much that he doesn't even like talking about wrestling anymore. But he was a great wrestler. When he was around, he was throwing punches. He was one of the top guys out there. He was giving Triple H a hard time, and everything just seemed to be going very well for him before he got involved in a storyline with Santino Marella, out of all people, and it just went downhill from there. So Vladimir Kozlov, again, was one of the, I believe, could have been the next breakout star, could have done something huge. And if you look at Vladimir right now, he looks great. And he's acting in films, he's doing shows. He looks just great, in great shape, even better than he looked 10, 12 years ago. But I just feel like, he could have been the next big thing, but they just dropped the ball on him. Look at that guy. Yeah, he could have really been the next big thing. Look at him. But he got involved in a storyline with Santino, and everything just went crushing down from there. Speaking of Vladimir Kozlov, Vladimir Petrov, another one. Look at that. Yeah, as you can see, a very rich history of Russian wrestlers out there. And the interesting part is that they did not actually involve Lana. So this is a gallery from WWE.com, and they actually did not involve Lana in it. So that's interesting. No mention of Lana, no mention of Rusev, who actually, Bulgaria, but he did a little storyline where he was Russian and was very true to Russia. But yeah, no mention of Lana or Rusev in that photo gallery on the WWE.com. So that's very, very interesting for sure. And since we're talking about this, let's also take a look at Twitter. And let's see, how are people reacting to all of this. Are they happy? Are they taking this negatively? Are they taking this positively? What is the general reaction of the people as people slowly get to know about this fact that WWE has suspended all of their programming in Russia? Let's take a look. And I'm gonna share the screen real quick so we can all jump to Twitter and find out what the fans feel about all of this. Kang Fang says that, oh, no, that's a link. RJ from Maryland says, I understand why WWE did it, but I don't think that people of Russia should suffer because of the actions of their president. The Russian people aren't the ones who decided, and this is again what I said earlier before we even started talking about this news story, is that no matter what happens, the Russian people should not be subjected to hate because they're not the ones who ordered this war, or not, they're not for this war. It's the governments, not the people. So should not direct. Nobody should be directing their hate towards the people because nobody's for this war. Nobody wants the war. Yeah, and as we already have a lot of racism and xenophobia in the world, let's not add fuel to the fire. That's it. And let's see what else are people talking about on Twitter. Even the WWE falls into canceling Russia. Even Vince McMahon will take the Saudi money and force his wrestlers to travel to the country, even though most of the wrestlers don't want to go. Vince McMahon isn't bothered by hypocrisy. Again, this is something that I mentioned earlier. WWE, somebody said it earlier. Yeah, D-Star said it, that this is big for them considering that they're sacrificing money and TV deals to take a stand against war. I mean, this is the same company that goes to Saudi Arabia every single year. I mean, even twice a year, choosing the money, which a lot of people are against. They don't want everybody to do it. A lot of talent doesn't want everybody to do it, but they do it anyways. They turn a blind eye towards everything else, and they go to Saudi Arabia every single year. But here they are taking a stand against war, which is nice, which is cool, but it's good. That's right. Yep, absolutely. WWE is all about diversity, so they have to do something. 100%. They are all about diversity. Yes, 100%. I think Elon Musk started this, that large corporate. Yeah, Elon Musk is a great example indeed. And the last few tweets, let's take a look at them. It has nothing to do with that. Look at all the companies that are cutting ties with Russia, isolating them left and right. That's right. They had to. I mentioned this earlier. PR is very important thing. A company has to maintain its reputation, and WWE, again, being one of the companies in the public eye, has to do it, has to maintain their reputation, and canceling the network and suspending the deal for now is the way to go. Because WWE cares about humanitarian issues and basic human rights, they have shut down broadcasts, and this is a big step, and WWE will always be on the right side of history. Look at that. So we're getting some mixed feelings here. A lot of people saying that, hey, you know what, this is not a very good idea because you also are the same company that goes to Saudi Arabia every single year, maybe twice a year, and you are here trying to take a stand against war. So, and some people are here saying that, you know what, WWE is doing the right thing, they will be on the right side of history. So we're getting some mixed reactions, but that's always in the case of everything, and especially the wrestling business, that no matter what you say, no matter what you do, you're always going to get some mixed reactions here and there. And from what we know now is that it's true. WWE has pulled the plug on their programming and all of their network in Russia. Russia is not going to get any WWE shows moving forward. Let it be Raw, NXT Level Up, let it be Smackdown. They're not going to get any shows. They're not going to get any of the on demand content on the network. And they're not going to be getting any pay per views, premium live events, and WrestleMania 38. It's true and it's happening. Let me be completely honest as Film Nation. I don't like what's going on between Ukraine and Russia. This obviously needs to stop. The reason why Russia and Ukraine are going up against each other, it's all about the stupid. Yeah, I mean, it's politics at the end of the day, right? So, just like I said, it's all about politics. It's not about the people. So, let's be against the war. Let's not be against the people. That's all I would like to say as I end this video here. This was your breaking news story. WWE has pulled the plug on all of their programming, including the WrestleMania 38 pay per view in Russia. It's true, it's happening. The company, just like a lot of major companies out there, including Netflix, including Apple, has decided to take a stance against the war, and they have pulled the plug on their programming in Russia for good. The network's gone, the television deal is gone, all of it is gone. And before we go, one last comment from Film Nation. As we can see, if maybe I will say this with honesty, don't judge me, but if Biden, yeah, I mean, you never know, never know. Lots of politics, Film Nation, right? Yep, absolutely. And just like I said, guys, it's happening. It's happened. The plug has been pulled. It is. We have now seen the end of Russian broadcast partnership of the WWE and in the country Russia. All the shows are suspended. All the pay-per-views are suspended. The country is not getting the biggest show of them all. That's WrestleMania. And we can only hope that the war comes to an end and Ukraine can be at peace again. Until next time, this is AJ, and I'm going to be here every time there's a breaking news story coming out, a breaking news story breaking out. We're going to be live and we're going to be talking about it. Thank you so much. All of you have a great day ahead, and I'll be back with our Impact Wrestling Watch Long tonight.